Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Chapter 66. Jason never thought about it. His luck can be so good. Come out and watch the excitement, and you can even get a big gift package from the sky. Just do an upgrade slam. It not only gave him elevated system permissions. Even Dr. Banner's housekeeping skills were revealed. When he thought about this, Jason just wanted to kiss Dr. Banner. He suppressed his excitement. Jason chose in his mind. Choose Gamma Strengthening Potion. Inspector, you have chosen Gamma Strengthening Medicine Pavilion. Technology is being released. OBA Core Purification Liquid is being distributed. Please note that this item is unique and cannot be copied. Please use with caution. Jason was stunned when he heard this. This was the first time he had seen this kind of situation. The system actually proactively distributed materials. Then Jason lowered his head. On the table in front of him, at some point, there was a silver white metal bottle. The surface of the bottle is very smooth. It doesn't look like metal at all, but like a gemstone. The bottle cap on top is also a bit ingenious. Completely integrated with the bottle. If it is not a system prompt. He thought the system had given him a piece of metal. Jason suddenly became interested. Through this bottle, can we tell the origin of the system? Skynet, check this bottle. Jason placed the bottle on top of the machine. A beam of light scanned from above. This is a new type of scanning tunneling microscope. The surface morphology of materials at the nanometer level can be observed. With this instrument, one can even see the whole picture of atoms. There are definitely no more than 50 such instruments in the world. Jason turned his gaze directly to the screen. But what shocked him was, what appeared on the electronic screen was a smooth plane, no different from what he observed with the naked eye. Jason's face was full of shock. The magnification of a scanning tunneling microscope is around 5,000 to 10,000 times. In theory, dogs can observe the shape of atoms. This happens now. This shows that the structure of this material is much smaller on a microscopic scale than he imagined. Scanning tunneling microscopy cannot observe its surface morphology at all. It's like looking at glass with a magnifying glass. No matter how much you zoom in, you still see a smooth surface. The magnification is not enough. Jason was not discouraged. He would only be disappointed if the things given by the system were so easy to study. Skynet conducts full spectrum analysis, ideographic period, X-ray scanning and particle beam interaction experiments, chromatography, mass spectrometry, and electrochemical analysis. Electron energy analysis, differential thermal analysis, Mossbauer spectrum analysis. Jason talked about dozens of analysis methods in one go. It covers almost all research methods used by human civilization to study new materials. Soon the results were obtained by Skynet and displayed on the screen. Jason looked at the spectroscopic results given by the system. Then the whole person was blinded. The analysis results given by the system are empty. It cannot be said that it is completely blank. It can only be said that there are no peaks in the spectral analysis. Looking at the spectral analysis diagram is actually looking at the peaks of the reflected waves. Different materials produce different photon reflection wave peaks. It is through this difference that the different properties of various materials can be studied. However, the material given by the system has no peaks at all. The entire spectrum is flat. This indicates that this material absorbs all emitted light, and no particles are reflected back at all. Jason grabbed a handful of hair and took a breath. It's a system indeed. Just one material can break the imagination of the entire physics community. Jason immediately gave up the idea of continuing research. According to the technology he has now, there is simply no way to parse such material. Forget it. Let's look at gamma strengthening technology. 11. Anyway, there is no threat to the system now. Jason thought to himself. Not only did the system pose no threat, it also brought him many benefits. But Jason still felt a little uneasy. There is no such thing as a pie in the sky. Is it possible to give him such a huge benefit out of thin air without asking for anything in return? However, it is useless for him to think about this now. He hid his doubts in his heart. Then start looking at gamma strengthening potions. Gamma rays are a very common thing. Essentially, this is an electromagnetic wave. It is the same thing as the light, infrared, etc. we usually see. It's just that the wavelength is different. Because its wavelength is very short, the energy contained in photons is very high. It is also classified as a type of ionizing radiation. Moreover, gamma rays are produced when atoms decay and can also be converted into nuclear radiation. As the old saying goes, talking about toxicity without considering the dosage is just a hooliganism. The same goes for gamma rays. The gamma rays produced by the sun every day are refracted by the atmosphere, leaving only a small part. It poses no threat to the human body at all. Unless gamma rays are irradiated in large doses, the human body's adaptive ability is not afraid of this effect at all. It just so happens, the amount of gamma rays used in gamma strengthening agents is the lethal dose. Ordinary people would die long ago after being exposed to gamma radiation through this method. Bruce Banner's survival was a complete coincidence. Fortunately, the safety of the system-modified medicines is still guaranteed. The principle is very simple. Gamma rays are used to cause benign mutagenesis of human cells. Enables human cells to absorb gamma rays to strengthen the human body. You can become stronger simply by basking in the sun. But, I don't know why. The medicine provided by the system does not have the effect that the angrier you are, the stronger it becomes. Corresponding, even after modification, the human body will not change. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to bear the sight of turning into the Hulk. Even so, the effect of the potion is very powerful. And it can continuously absorb gamma rays, constantly becoming stronger. According to theory, if he keeps absorbing light, when the time is long enough, it is completely capable of becoming an immortal existence. Thinking of this, Jason felt excited. I can't wait to make the strengthening potion right away. Moreover, it is not only able to absorb the gamma range emitted by the sun. The arc reactor's cold nuclear fusion will also emit a small amount of gamma rays. In this way, it is simply double the happiness. Jason didn't even think about it again. Do you want to cause a wave of Iron Man and install an arc reactor on the chest? Anyway, I already have the armor. There is no shame in building a reactor. The thought of a conflict later. Others finally broke through the armor. Only then did I realize that I was stronger than the armor. How desperate would that be? Jason smiled when he thought of this and couldn't help but dive directly into the laboratory. However, he always felt that he had forgotten something. At the same time, Dr. Banner in New York. Taking the money given by Jason, he was ready to escape. Suddenly my legs felt weak. The whole body seemed to be hollowed out. Chapter 67. Human body modification is a very dangerous thing. If you are not careful, problems of this kind will occur. Taking a closer look at the entire universe, Captain America is the only one who has undergone human body modification without any problems. For other people, it's not because of physical problems. It's just a mental illness. For example, Dr. Bruce Banner directly suffered from schizophrenia. Jason naturally had to be fully prepared before making the potion before he would take it. First, just understand the principle of gamma strengthening potion. Before you figure this out, it was difficult for him to just take the potion. Only, this is easy to say. Without experimental subjects, it is very difficult to conduct research. Especially in Dr. Banner's absence. He knows it very well. How do human cells absorb high-energy radiation? It's hard to understand that it relies on photosynthesis. Jason took a malicious look at the Hulk's skin color. Superman's hometown is green, and he can absorb solar radiation and become stronger. Hulk is also green and can absorb sunlight and become stronger. There might be some connection between these two. In my heart, I maliciously slandered the two guys who were not human beings. Jason began to prepare the potion. In fact, the configuration of gamma strengthening agent is not difficult. It is enough to synthesize according to the ratio of various substances given by the system. Finally, add the vial of unknown substance given by the system. Even if the big 347 is done. Jason had seen that the medicines used in the formula were basically common high-energy nutrient solutions. Nothing special at all. So he waited until his potion ration was completed. His tests still showed no progress. Look at the bottle of liquid in front of you. Jason carefully took out a drop and tested the liquid. Skynet, provide the test results as soon as possible. Building molecular dynamics models. Jason made himself a cup of coffee and waited for the test results from Skynet. Soon, Skynet's test results came out. However, it was somewhat beyond his expectation. How can it be? His tests showed. The test results of this strengthening potion were no different from the nutrient solution he prepared. The bottle of unknown substance given by the system seemed to contain nothing at all. There are two possibilities. One is that the system is cheating him. The other is that his technology, CFBD, has not reached that level. He preferred to believe it was the latter. Jason's face looked uncertain. Skynet, showing molecular model. Simulating electron motion. See if the basic molecules of matter change. Jason said with a gloomy face. Soon, the molecular model was established by Skynet. Based on Skynet's powerful computing capabilities. The accuracy of this model is almost 99%. However, he still didn't find anything wrong with this molecular model. The expression on Jason's face became a little uncertain again. He thinks about it now. Should he try drinking these potions directly? In this way, he will face unknown risks. To be honest, now he is living a happy life. I don't want to bet on the probability that nothing will go wrong. But then he thought about it. This world doesn't seem to be a safe world. Not to mention that Thanos has already been plotting against the Earth in the universe for a long time. The few people Batman knows don't have fuel-efficient lamps. Something like Superman, Wonder Woman, etc. None of the villains he faced were easy to mess with. His environment was not as safe as he thought. Never mind. Stress the bold to death and starve the timid to death. Is there any way to gain strength without taking risks? Skynet, prepare a large gamma-ray emitter. Seal the laboratory and start radiating the ice wall device. Prepare high-concentration extremis stock solution and prepare first aid. Jason issued the order 3 times 5 times 2. He took off his clothes and lay down together. In his right hand is the bottle of gamma-strengthening potion he made. The instrument is charged and preparations for gamma-ray emission are complete. The atomic decay device is ready. High-energy extremis stock solution is ready. Tianwang's emotionless voice sounded next to him. A trace of cruelty flashed in Jason's eyes. He poured the potion directly into his mouth. Those who saw him drank the potion. Skynet directly turned on the gamma-ray emission device. This device produces gamma rays through the decay of atoms. The instantaneous production of gamma rays can even exceed that of the sun. Ordinary people are in front of such a machine. In a matter of seconds, genetic collapse occurs. The body literally melted away within weeks. If the potion fails, it was inevitable that Jason would end up like this. So it's really a big gamble. The moment the instrument started, Jason didn't feel anything yet. I only feel the opposite angle of the spring breeze blowing on my face. On the contrary, it's a little comfortable. Soon, the situation changed. Jason felt as if there was an extra ball of lava in his body. Constantly flowing in the body. Severe pain came out. In every cell of his body. It's like there is a steel needle stirring constantly. That feeling was like Ling Kai. Ah, the suppressed pain burst out of his mouth. He knew that he had to be patient at this time. The cells in his body are being remodeled under the influence of gamma rays and agents. If he leaves at the moment, it is very likely that all his previous efforts will be wasted. There is even a risk of genetic collapse. Gritting his teeth, Jason slowly endured it. A few minutes. In Jason's eyes, it seemed like several years had passed. Fortunately, it was very quick. The pain dissipated like a tide. It turned into a warm feeling. Made Jason feel very comfortable. Skynet, is the gamma-ray emission device still on? Yes, Master. The gamma-ray device is still on. There was also a hint of surprise in Tianwang's tone, which had always been calm. Obviously, Jason's current situation and changes in his body are very strange. Master, your body has changed. What changes? Jason said. Upon hearing Jason's question, Skynet placed a photo directly in front of him. I am Sao, is this me? Jason looked at the people on the screen and was shocked. It was really such a big change that he couldn't believe it. Although he has an adult soul. But because of his age, Jason is still a little kid. Less than 1.5 meters tall. He is a bit short among his peers. Coupled with the previous malnutrition, Jason was as thin as a bamboo pole. There is not even an ounce of meat on the body. If it wasn't for its good looks, it would really be unwatchable. But now, huge amounts of changes took place in his whole being. If it weren't for Skynet's inability to lie, he would even think that Skynet put his head on Bruce Wayne's body. It's incredible. Chapter 68. The effect of the gamma strengthening potion is much better than Jason imagined. It's not just physical fitness that has changed. Even the appearance has changed. It's like Captain America was injected with the super soldier serum. Suddenly he became a muscular tyrant. Looking at the muscles on his body, Coulson nodded with satisfaction. Next time you see Tony Stark, be sure to mock him. Even though he is only 1.6 meters tall, he mocks him every day for being 1.5 meters tall. It's simply too much. Now, it's time for him to feel his own pain. I smiled a little wretchedly in my heart. Jason couldn't wait to put on Bruce Wayne's clothes and went to Bruce Wayne's private training ground. Bruce Wayne became Batman for a reason. In addition to necessary social activities and doing chivalrous work outside, he spent most of his time at the training ground. Completely different from Tony Stark, the playboy who spent half his life in bed. Therefore, the underground training facilities in Wayne Manor are very complete. It's not just the equipment in a regular gym. There is also a small shooting range in the back. When he first arrived at Wayne Group, Jason even went to Master RB. But later his wrist was dislocated and he never went there again. This time he was going to test his strength on the training ground. Skynet, prepare to monitor my physical condition in real time. Create my profile, Jason said casually. Already in the beginning, he asked Skynet to create his personal file. Various body data are collected almost every 6 months. Scientists like them are very prone to sudden death. Take Tony Stark for example. Sheng Xiao was played every night, and the body was consumed by wine and sex. But this guy just stayed up all night doing research. The food was burgers and coffee. Under this situation, Tony Stark didn't die suddenly. Jason has to say that Tony Stark is himself. He has no interest in betting on this probability. Therefore, he usually pays great attention to his health. Now it's time to compare with his data. Picking up a 25 kilograms dumbbell plate, Jason gave it a try. Close black lens bracket. Then he looked weird. It's not that this thing is too heavy, but it's too light. If it were him before, he wouldn't even think about such a thing. But now, holding this dumbbell chip, Jason even felt like he was just holding a bag of potato chips. Skynet, prepare the boxing test machine. This thing doesn't make sense anymore, Jason said with sour teeth. He originally thought that even if the strength increased, it would not be too exaggerated. He didn't lose control of his power at all. But now it seems. Or because the potion is too powerful. His nervous system has also been strengthened. A perfect match for his own strength. He has no correct understanding of his own power at all. Judging from just now, his strength is not as strong as iron, but it's almost there. This is the advantage of having a factory at home. The machine Jason wanted was quickly brought over by dozens of armors. For the sake of the future, Skynet directly designed a testing instrument with an upper limit that can withstand several hundred tons. The volume is naturally a bit larger. File size that occupies more than half of the venue. After the equipment was installed, Jason warmed up. Skynet, prepare to record the values. As he spoke, Jason shook his wrist and punched the machine with all his strength. Boom. There was a muffled sound. There is an obvious punch mark on the special rubber carbon fiber material. The numbers on the instrument kept jumping up. 243. Seeing this number, Jason raised his eyebrows. So strong. You know, he has just strengthened his body and there is still a lot of room for improvement. And he had never learned any systematic way of exerting force before. This power is at most 2/3 of his full strength. That's close to 250 tons. What a concept. The speed of his punch is about 100 meters per second. According to the kinetic energy formula, power is equal to force multiplied by speed. In other words, the power of his punch is about 2 million kilowatts. A country with a large population like the electricity load in third and fourth tier cities is only 1 million kilowatts. The power of Jason's punch was equivalent to the load of 2 cities. Although the performance is not that obvious in terms of strength. But if one punch punches through a 5 to 6 story building, it probably won't be a big problem. It has completely exceeded the boundaries of human beings. Unless it's anti-Hulk armor, I'm afraid. Otherwise, ordinary steel armor will only be regarded as a toy in front of him in the future. It turns out that just one body strengthening potion can make you so strong. It's a beautiful comic book world where there are as many gods as dogs, hanging on the walls and everywhere. This strength has grown a bit too fast. Jason made a deal in his mind. The people in the training room couldn't help but sigh. Now, even Tianwang, who had been calm all this time, couldn't stand it anymore. If she wasn't an artificial intelligence, she would probably spit in Jason's face. Who are you pretending to be? I can't stand Jason's pretentiousness. Skynet's gentle voice rang out from the speakers. Master, your physical examination report is out. Do you want to take a look? Jason, who was immersed in joy, did not notice the vividness of Skynet's tone. Okay, cast it on the screen for me. Soon a string of data appeared on the screen. Point 0. Jason looked at it and saw that it was completely different from before. Before strengthening, his weight was only 40 kilograms. My current weight is straight towards 300 kilograms. But his figure does not look fat. One can imagine how incredibly dense his body is. The heart beats only half as often as normal people. It's just that the heart beats more vigorously. Jason even seemed to be able to hear the sound of blood flowing in his veins. Not only that, the activity of various organs in his body has been greatly enhanced. Even the gut flora, when taken outside, they can be regarded as super bacteria. The kind that no drug can kill. No wonder some previous works said that the blood of gods is poison to ordinary people. Bacteria with such high activity. It's okay to enter an ordinary human body. Jason said in surprise. I'm afraid he has nothing to do with voluntary blood donation in this life. I'm afraid there are no humans in the world who can bear his blood. Check the parameters of each part of the body. Jason was secretly surprised. He can be sure that he is very strong now. Very strong. Not at all human. From now on, when he goes out, as long as he doesn't meet a pervert, he can walk sideways. Jason was feeling complacent. A voice suddenly came from behind him. Who are you? Why are you here? Don't move. Jason wanted to turn around. But just halfway through, I heard a gunshot. Then my back felt like it had been pricked with needles. Chapter 69. Jason turned around. He looked at Mr. Alfred holding a pistol with disbelief. Just shoot right now. What about your normally amiable persona? Why did you shoot without saying anything? Compared to Jason, Alfred was even more confused. He looked at the Glock pistol in his hand, and then at the shapeshifted bullet that fell on the ground. The old man is a little doubtful about life. He fired a shot at the target next to him. No problem. It's a real gun. But look at the bullet that only tore through one layer of someone's shirt. Alfred was considering whether to go to Glock for an explanation. Jason. But Alfred reacted quickly. He looked suspiciously at Jason, who was already a head taller than him. Grandpa Alfred, it's me. Jason said helplessly. As expected, this old man came from the 513 section of MI6. Make a move. That is totally unhesitation. Fortunately, after strengthening his body defense is also incredibly powerful. Hulk has just gone through strengthening. It can even withstand the bombardment of 20mm cannons from military armed helicopters. That is a powerful weapon that can easily smash concrete walls into pieces. He can now stop pistol bullets. There seems to be nothing to be surprised about. Hearing Jason's voice, Alfred confirmed Jason's identity. He looked at Jason carefully. Then asked, Jason, how did you end up like this? Ahem. Something went wrong when I took the medicine. Jason said quietly. He is very satisfied with his current physical condition. Do you not want to transform from a 6-inch boy into a muscular man with a height of 1.8 meters? However, this is very difficult to accept for Alfred, who regards Jason as his own son. You get home, seeing his son suddenly grow into a strong man who is even more powerful than himself. It's hard for you to accept. This change is so rapid. Alfred was a little caught off guard. In the end he could only sigh. Jason, I know you are a genius but you can't be reckless. What if there are any hidden dangers left? Hearing Alfred's concern about culture, Kunsen felt warm in his heart. No, Grandpa Alfred, this is science. There are no uncontrollable variables. Jason said this without blushing. Of course Alfred didn't know that Jason was talking nonsense. If he can't hold on to the strengthening just now, They are probably all disabled now. Heard that said. Alfred felt a little relieved. But he still said it. Even if you say that, you are too messy. You can't be sure. What if something goes wrong? Besides, although we at Wayne Group are not afraid, how will others see your huge amounts of changes when they are spread out? Maybe he thought you were switched. Alfred also had a headache when he said this. He wasn't sure just now. After listening to Jason's voice, he even looked at Jason carefully to be sure. Those little unconscious actions cannot be faked. He can confirm it, but others can't. Suddenly grew so big. Said to be Bruce Wayne's illegitimate son. Who believes it? He didn't even believe it when he said it. Thinking of this, Alfred had a headache. At this time, behind them, a voice came again. Who are you? Alfred, who is this? Alfred looked at Bruce Wayne, who was approaching, rubbing his shoulders. More headache. Have to. One problem has not been solved yet. Then another one came. He can no longer be a housekeeper. It took Jason a lot of effort to convince Bruce Wayne that he had not switched the package. In the end, Skynet was used to prove himself. Wait until this is confirmed. Bruce Wayne marveled at Jason. The look in his eyes made Jason feel a little uncomfortable. Jason, do you still have this potion? After hearing Alfred say that Jason was hit by a bullet in the front and was unhurt, Bruce Wayne's eyes lit up. If there are conditions, who doesn't want to be a super able person? Every time he meets Superman, he always felt a little shorter. Meet other superheroes and ask him. He could only laugh at himself and say that he was rich. In fact, why doesn't he want to become a super ability person? If that were the case, he wouldn't have to work so hard when he went out to do heroic things. Jason looked at Bruce Wayne's face lighting up. Jason could only shake his head helplessly. This one really doesn't exist anymore. But didn't I give you a desperate injection? Don't you feel anything? Jason looked at Bruce Wayne strangely. What he injected into Bruce Wayne was the high-level version. Although it is not as abnormal as Gamma Strengthening Potion. But it definitely rivals Captain America's Super Soldier Serum. Strength, reaction speed, and recovery ability have all been enhanced. No matter how you look at Bruce Wayne, it seems like he has nothing. Seeing Jason's scrutinizing gaze, Bruce Wayne also smiled awkwardly. The extremist strengthening effect is indeed very powerful. His strength has increased at least 3 to 4 times, and is still growing. The wound recovery effect is also very good. His arm had been shot before he came. If it were before, you will have to stay in the hospital for at least a few months. Now, his wound has recovered. In fact, he was very satisfied. But seeing Jason can stop a bullet, he was naturally envious. Want to have one. The look in Jason's eyes when he saw Bruce Wayne. I cursed inwardly. What kind of bike do you want? Still not satisfied. But this is also human nature. After cursing in his mind for a long time, he still said helplessly. I guess it won't work this time. The materials used to make this potion are very rare. If I get a chance in the future, I'll get you a copy. Then it's settled. Bruce 4.0 Wayne thought happily. Kiss your own son. What are you being polite about? But, having said that, what's going on with you? Jason looked at the bullet hole in Bruce Wayne's arm. Well, hearing Jason ask this, Bruce Wayne sighed. The whole person became a little depressed. This matter actually has something to do with me. Bruce Wayne shook his head and said. This time he went out and met an old friend of his. Harvey Dent, originally the district attorney of Gotham City. He is an upright man and is known as the Bright Knight of Gotham City. He is a very decent person. That's why he admired Harvey so much. Because from him, we can see all the bright parts of human beings. Only, all this changed after Shaoshan appeared. Chapter 70. Joker is a very formidable enemy. Bruce Wayne said in front of Jason again. Harvey would have been a very bright man. Although his childhood home life was unhappy, he was not tainted by it. Instead, through his own efforts, he became a prosecutor. And, very shield. You can think about it. Coming from a family where his mother is a drug addict and his father is an alcoholic, how difficult it is for him to achieve such an achievement. Bruce Wayne sighed. Hearing this, Jason nodded in agreement. The influence of one's family of origin on a person. A sound that almost penetrated a person. People who had an unfortunate childhood will have more or less psychological problems when they grow up. Dr. Bruce Banner's split personality, Tony Stark's eccentricities and arrogance. It's all related to this boy's experience. If Bruce Wayne didn't have a good housekeeper and a good master, he would take over the role of his parents. It's hard to say what the future will be like. After Harvey Dent experienced his parents' divorce and domestic violence, he still grew into a bright man. It's incredible. After meeting Jason, I understood what he meant. Bruce Wayne speaks again. It is precisely because of this that I say Joker is scary. What's scary about him is not his force, but his ability to manipulate people's hearts. Few people who came into contact with him remained normal. So does Harvey. There was a flash of sadness in Bruce Wayne's eyes. Jason was even more convinced. In fact, the most obvious thing about this is Harley Quinn. She was a good nurse. He is good looking and has a gentle personality. But after meeting Joker, he was forced to become a madman. Not only do I love this Joker deeply, I also have a mental problem. He is still locked up in a special prison. So when dealing with an enemy like Joker, you can't let him do more than one. Just kill him and that's it. Bruce Wayne on the other side didn't know that Jason had such violent thoughts in his heart. Otherwise, I will definitely shout a traitor. That's how Harvey met Joker. The more extreme the light, the easier it is to fall into darkness. Joker first used sulfuric acid to disfigure Harvey. And then messed with Harvey's mind with words. Harvey couldn't accept his disfigurement, so he became a shadow hiding in Gotham City, Two-Face. Bruce Wayne finished. Directly fell into silence. Jason also sighed. Harvey Dent's tragic childhood life did not have no impact on him. He suffered from the same disease as Banner, schizophrenia. According to scientific statistics, more than 90% of schizophrenia patients had miserable childhoods. So does Harvey. Behind his bright personality, there is another personality hidden. And Joker. Release this hidden personality. That's why Harvey Dent's actions are so unpredictable. He often determines his actions through a coin. At times, he was the most feared gang boss in Gotham. Sometimes, he helps Bruce Wayne fight crime. He is a very complex criminal. It's normal for Bruce Wayne to be frustrated when facing him. On the one hand, Batman never fails to kill people. Harvey Dent, on the other hand, was his good friend from the beginning. Semicolon. He still has certain expectations and has no determination to take action. Didn't die at the hands of Harvey Dent. He was lucky. Looking at Bruce Wayne, Jason couldn't bear it. Do you want me to help you deal with him? You. Bruce Wayne glanced at him. Never mind. He didn't question Jason's strength. To deal with Two-Face, you really don't need any powerful abilities. That's what he's worried about. Once Jason takes action, two-faced people simply cannot survive. Back when dealing with Joker, he could see how ruthless Jason was. He also knew that Jason was born in a place like the slums of Gotham. It's normal to develop this kind of personality. He is already thankful that he has not developed the habit of smoking, getting tattoos, or smoking tobacco. Just like that, he was planning to find a psychiatrist for Jason. I promise you, why not kill him? Jason said helplessly. Not to mention that Bruce Wayne is his cheap daddy. Just saying that Bruce Wayne was really nice to him. It's not just the various resources of the Wayne Group that are at his disposal. I usually care a lot about him. Before going out to do heroic things every day, I often talk to him. It is better to say that they are friends than father and son. Jason is not an ungrateful person. If someone treats him well, he will naturally remember it in his heart. Now Bruce Wayne is in trouble. Of course he wants to take action. Are you serious? Bruce Wayne asked suspiciously. What did I lie to you about? You have to think clearly, if you can't deal with him. Harvey Dent doesn't know what he's going to do. What if someone else takes action then? Gotham is a big city no less than New York. Of course, there is more than one superhero like Batman. Many other superheroes also operate in Gotham City. Bruce Wayne doesn't take action. In case Two-Face messes with other superheroes, the possibility of being killed is also very high. The gap between super ability people and humans is really huge. Hear Jason say that. Bruce Wayne also hesitation. Jason is right about this. Gotham City 080 still has a lot of superheroes. Although not very strong. But there is no problem in dealing with a gang boss. Okay, then you must promise me not to kill him. If there is no death penalty in Gotham City, we cannot carry out private executions. Jason curled his lips when he heard this. Capitalism is really good. Abolition of the death penalty is commonplace. There is really no way for ordinary people to survive. After thinking about it, Jason said impatiently. Okay, I got it. I will definitely bring him back alive to you, and I will send him to Arkham Asylum. I'm going to help you upgrade the security system there. Tell it yourself, there are many people running away from your place. Jason was so full of things that he didn't even know where to start. Obviously, he has no strength. You really want to trap these supervillains. No matter how powerful your mental hospital is, can it be more powerful than SHIELD's super prison? There are very few jailbreaks over there, let alone yours. If he doesn't help strengthen the defense, I'm afraid I've only been locked up for a few days. The villains ran out on their own. Bruce Wayne also sighed when he heard this. You can go ahead and upgrade. Arkham should really change. When he said this, Bruce Wayne's tone was full of fatigue. His heroic deeds were not so easy. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.